Good evening, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode 4, I believe, of
Number 4.
The Walkers. I'm one of your hosts with Evening Sheldon, and joining me today is my beautiful wife, Caitlin Walker. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic. We missed an episode.
Yep.
We missed a week, I guess you should say, and we're slacking. So we're back at it. We're ready to rock and roll.
We're busy. We were busy.
We're
We had
busy.
a lot going on.
We got a little one running around. So when that happens, things kind of get a little crazy. But we are drinking this time. Got a little cheers.
Cheers.
So who knows what's gonna happen?
Who knows what's going to start flowing?
You know what I'm saying? So look, we got obviously a jam-packed show. We're gonna talk about a few things. First order of business is gonna be boobies, which one of my favorite topics, whether it's baby related or just in general. So excited for that. And what else we got, baby?
What to do with your baby those first couple weeks, and then capturing the moments.
Look, those are fun stuff. I think the boobies are going to be cool just for more informational for the moms out there.
Yep.
The other two, what to do with your baby. For me, somebody who's always hands-on and wants to make sure that you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, make sure you're doing everything in a timely manner too. You don't want him to be behind.
Sure. So it's that's kind of what we're going to talk about. And then capturing the moment, which obviously, if you know me at all, I'm a big vlogger and like to document stuff, which I think I've been probably the worst at it.
Oh, so bad. So bad, which is so crazy. I mean, we can get into it when it comes to that topic, but everyone thought it would be so different.
Okay. Well, first order of business is going to be boobies, like we said. So this one, I'm obviously going to be more about Caitlin. So I'm going to ask her questions and let her hopefully talk about what she did, things she had to get prepared. And I'll kind of tell my perspective of it, but it's more for her. But the first thing she did, which was great, which helped a lot in the very first days at the hospital, because when he first comes out, you've got what's the yellow thing called when their skin's yellow?
Jaundice.
You got jaundice. They got to poop. They got to pee. And there's a few other things that have to basically get checked off. So they got to make
nutrients. I mean, they have to make sure they're gaining weight because
weight gain.
No one really knows is that you give birth to the baby at however much weight, but they always lose weight. So by the time they leave the hospital, they're not usually the same weight. They're usually a little less.
Good point. Forgot about that. So something that she did, how many weeks or months prior?
I would say a month prior. And yeah, because I didn't want to do it too soon because I didn't want to go into labor early. I don't think it really would. Maybe it would. Maybe now if I do it for my second one.
Who knows now?
Who knows? Yeah. But I would be okay going early. You know what I mean? My first one, I was worried. But what I did is I pumped colostrum. So whenever you become pregnant, it can be within the first trimester, second trimester kind of thing. But your boobs start to actually leak because your milk is forming. But the first milk is what we call colostrum, and it's liquid gold. It's the best of the best kind of thing. You
don't need much of it to be very impactful. That's the importance of it. Yep. So you did it about a month or two because you didn't want to overdo it. So she's pumping. I mean, we're talking like 2 or 3 ounces.
Yeah.
Which I remember
it was like little syringes full, and I thought, oh my, this is so much.
So much. They got to be pounded now. But so we packed it all in these little syringes, and then we froze it all.
Yep.
So
because my goal was to use it later on when he was sick.
And once he got home, we had kind of like a little safety net back in because again, we were assuming baby pops out, throw him onto the tit. Yeah. No bueno.
Your milk just comes in kind of thing.
And I haven't like that.
No.
But so actually we should talk about that before we can kind of pause for the colostrum because again, we have the baby and you're trying to breastfeed the baby on the nipple and he's just not latching at all.
No, he's not latching, and the lactation consultant comes in and she seemed very helpful, but she also was just, I don't know. It's one of those things, it has to be very hands-on. And ours wasn't. So, I mean, she was telling me what to do. And she was saying, hey, you could help her with this or whatever. But I don't know. It just didn't work. It was very strange.
You got a weird nipple.
Yeah. So there's actually 3 different types of nipples. So there's normal nipples that get hard and long. Yeah. And then there's inverted nipples, which you would know if you had inverted nipples when they're just sitting there. It's concave, they're inwards. And then you have my nipples, which are flat. So yes, they get hard when I get aroused or whatever, but I don't get long enough. So in order for me to breastfeed, in order for me to get to his throat, it wasn't long enough. So
and for him to hit the top of his mouth, it wasn't registering
the
for
little
him to
thing.
Suck.
Yep.
Yeah, remember that. So. I mean, I don't mind your nipples, babe. Even though Becca gave you shit for it. So that was a struggle. We even tried a plastic nipple over it.
A nipple guard.
A nipple guard. And so, again, it's very important for, one, the milk to come out early on because the milk wasn't there right away either, which was the other issue. It wasn't producing like you think.
Which is very normal, ladies.
Yes.
Like, if you have your second, third one, I'm sure it's going to come in a lot sooner because your body's already done it and it already knows what to do. But you got to think about it. It's the very first time it's ever happening. It's a natural thing, but your body hasn't done that yet. So it took like, I want to say like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, it was a stressful time for you. I was pretty chill, but like again, the way I can compare it is if you're a dude and you show up and you don't get hard, like you're not able to perform.
Yeah.
Right. I know that sounds kind of too am I, but that's how I feel like you were. It's like I feel like I should be able to do this and I'm not, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because I feel good. I've done everything right.
Oh yeah.
Just wasn't the body that I could have been due because he wasn't being able to lactate on or grab on, so your body wasn't registering. We don't know. I don't know. Because you were using a pump. That's where we started just pumping it and putting it into bottles, which there's an advantage, which we'll get into.
Another thing too is we thought we were doing everything right because he was sucking, but he wasn't like latching on super like strong, I guess you would say. Like I could feel it.
Sure.
But it turned out he wasn't really getting that much. And that was one of the not scary parts, but like at the beginning, you have to like write down how long they are. And so even though he's like going this long, doesn't mean we know exactly how many ounces he's getting. So we were going 15, 20 minutes like the doctor told us, but he wasn't getting hardly anything. So his weight was dropping, which again is normal, but it dropped more than they wanted to. So that became very stressful along with the jaundice. So that's why we were there a little bit longer because of those two things.
Yep.
And I think society wants breast is best. They always say breast is best kind of thing. So they don't really want you to do formula. But if it does happen to you, use the formula. Don't
hesitate to supplement because that was a battle.
Don't make anyone make you feel bad. Like, and I don't think they were intentionally trying to make me feel bad. I just think nowadays they like try to cover their ass. Yeah. And they don't want to say, oh, well, I told you this and whatever it may be.
The best advice I can give you when having the kid is that things move so quickly. And you're going to get caught up in the moment and think that it's the world and it's the end.
Oh, yeah.
But if you realize, take a second, say, in a week from now, this is going to be such a small thing. It's going to be like you ran out of gas on the side of the road. You're not going to remember it. But because of the severity of the situation, it feels very big. So
and it's also your first one, too. So you, like, me personally, I felt like I was failing just because he was losing weight. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm getting up every 2 to 3 hours. I'm doing this. I'm whatever it may be. And me personally, I felt like I was failing because he was losing weight.
And I think for the guy, again, like there wasn't much that I could do, but the best thing was to kind of keep you level headed and like make you understand like this isn't, and it didn't really help, but it was more just reassuring that you have zero control of what's happening.
Yeah.
And let's just get through to the end of today and we'll worry about the rest of it tomorrow because right now it's just one day at a time. And sure enough, I mean, we had hurdles like this. This was just the first one, but I remember the formula being a weird thing. Like, again, you want to make sure your baby's being fed. We didn't know if he was getting enough. We were pumping the little colostrum things, which was massive. I mean, it's way bigger.
So, yeah,
it is colostrum, too, at first.
At first, yes. So, when I was at home, like, leading up to even giving birth, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so easy. Like, I'm already producing all of this, quote-unquote, colostrum or milk.
Sure.
I thought, oh, my gosh, once I actually have the baby, I'm just going to, like, explode. Like that's how I felt personally. It, like I said, it doesn't happen that way, and don't feel disgruntled or anything because you have like zero control over it at all.
Yeah, for sure. And I think again, it's just a battle, and especially with your emotions running high, that's going to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just gave a baby. I just gave baby.
Yeah, you just gave birth.
I just gave birth to a baby.
But so we get the colostrum. We're feeding him with the colostrum. There is a pro. Now we full cycled. And we're going to get to the end of breastfeeding, but we never really got on the tip because he couldn't suck it. So we went straight into
that first week. Yeah. So that first week we were home. It was such a hassle. Not hassle. It sounds.
You weren't ready to give up yet.
Yeah, I was trying to do it every day, every couple feedings or whatever. I was trying, but it's like if he's not getting it, then also it's harder for my milk to come in, like we said earlier.
Yeah, because your body, it's like a machine. It needs to have the idea.
It's got to know.
Produce.
Yes, correct. So I would try, and then it wouldn't latch, or it wouldn't really like happen, and then I would sit there, and he did have formula at the beginning, what the hospital gave us, and then while you were feeding him the formula, that's when I would like pump, and I would get little, and then I just remember crying because I was like I felt like I was failing.
Sure.
Society just just sets you up to fail.
Yeah, and you're not, and
your
weren't
hormones
either.
are raging. So,
But look, I think the pro, like we realized after the fact, was because you were able to pump and put it into a bottle, everybody could feed them, which was cool, and I could help out a lot more. I think early on, most moms are kind of stuck to having to get up and do everything because the baby is on the tit. Now, is there a disadvantage? And yes, I think the two things that were the disadvantages was we can segue into is mastitis. And also, I think it could be maybe why your supply maybe is cut short. We don't know, but could be because of, again, I think human touch and your body understands that, but I don't know because of how long. But let's go to mastitis for, I cannot say it for whatever reason. This was brutal. I think this was, not only were you feeling like a failure again, you were in major pain. This happened within like a month, right?
It was like the first,
like 2 weeks.
It was
within that first month.
So when you're pumping, you have to pump or breastfeed every 2 to 3 hours just to kind of get everything working. So for whatever reason, I don't know why, either maybe I got extra sleep, maybe I took like a longer nap or something. And it's very crucial at the beginning that you stick to a schedule. Otherwise this will happen. I had no idea this would happen. No idea. I didn't even know what this was until it happened to me. So you have to stay on a schedule every like 2 to 3 hours. Otherwise your milk or your pores clog up. Like you get a clogged duct because the milk needs to be released. So I didn't know that. So I can't remember, either I just slept or I took a nap or whatever it was. So I went like 5 or 6 hours without pumping or breastfeeding, but I was just pumping at that time. And my boobs just they hurt. Like they got red to the touch. I thought I had the flu.
Yeah, you were getting hot and flashes, and we were worried that
fever.
You were gonna get sick.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, you haven't been sick this entire time.
No, knock on wood. But I thought I had a fever. And I was like, babe, I feel awful, but you're gonna have to do this. I don't want to get our 2-week-old sick, So I kind of distanced myself for that night, took a shower, texted my mom friends, and they said, I bet you have mastitis. And I had no idea what that was. So I asked and I Googled it and everything like that. And I'm like, yep, it's 1,000% that. Because then maybe a couple hours later, I didn't have a fever anymore.
Yeah.
And I still didn't feel the best, but I didn't have a fever anymore. So how you kind of get rid of mastitis is just massaging it out until like a steam.
You got antibiotics.
Yeah, so I had to go to the doctor. If it gets too bad, then you have to get.
Where you got
yes. Then you have to go to the doctor and get antibiotics for 10 days. But if you just get a clogged duct, then you just kind of have to massage it in the shower, like, because the steam, I guess, just releases it or whatever. But I actually was pumping I would just pump for like 20 minutes and then move, 20 minutes and move it. It was just a constant thing. I think I did it for like 2 or 3 hours just to kind of get everything out. And you even use a massage gun to try to like move it.
It was brutal. And this is where, again, women, they're absolute ballers. And this is probably where most women stop because her titties were
bleeding. My nipples were just cracked and hurting.
Tits were red, and just every time she put on the thing, it was just crying because she was in so much pain.
And I had strawberry milk.
Eventually, blood was coming out of her tits.
They call it strawberry milk because it was pink.
Which is okay.
Yes, if it happens, you can give it to your baby.
Caitlin was weird about it.
I was weird about it because I don't want to drink blood, but you can. It's because, again, if you're breastfeeding, you have no idea it's coming out. So your baby's drinking it anyways.
You'll see clogged ducts come out. Those are okay as well.
Yeah, it's like a thick booger. Ugh.
It's brutal.
It's thicker than a booger.
It's atrocious. And again, I think most people probably would say F it. She kept powering through, and then she became damn near Yellowstone Geyser National Park.
Oh, yeah.
Just couldn't slow down the
overflow.
flow.
Yeah. The gates were open.
Bro, we had so much milk for like a 4 to 5 month period. I mean, we had a literally.
It happened, yeah, because I started.
As soon as it quit?
As soon as I went to work, I feel like that's when it stopped because I wasn't doing it as often and as long. I feel like because that was in January, and I feel like maybe February, that's when my supply started to like decline slowly.
So like over time.
Yes. It wasn't just like overnight, but it was just like, okay, I was doing 60, and then I went from 60 to doing 50, and then 40, and then.
We had a whole damn near freezer.
We had to get a deep freezer.
I thought about selling it because we had so much. Good thing we didn't. We've gone through all of that, and now we've got a little bit left over because we did like a little plan at the end. But yeah, mastitis is definitely nothing to play with.
No.
It was brutal on both ends, but I recommend pushing. I mean, I can't give any advice.
Yeah, no. I mean, my biggest thing, I'm not a quitter, so I like to make sure I'm doing everything that I can. And in the back of my mind, I can say, hey, I did everything that I could, and that's okay. So I wanted to make sure I at least tried before I quit. Now, again, maybe if you have a C-section, it's more difficult for you or whatever.
You're dealing with something else, right?
Yes, you're dealing with something
your
completely
self-healing
else.
and all that. There's a lot of stuff. Look, and women put their body through hell and back. And again, I think the only thing I would say, and this kind of speaking for you, is it's worth the sacrifice. I think you can agree with that. I think we've been thankful that he got sick. I think we can say he got sick.
Yeah, he had like a what do you call it? Like a sinus infection.
Yeah,
like 2 weeks ago.
Got me sick, little shit. I was worse than he was, but up until that point, we're at 9 months tomorrow. He hasn't really had any sicknesses, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he's been on breast milk, which is like again liquid gold, and we keep we're pretty good about where we take him and stuff like that. But I highly believe that it has a lot to do with the breast milk. It just a lot of vitamins. She was making me drink breast milk when I was sick the other day. That damn thing's damn near gold. But
really
and now
is.
look, we just ended it, and we this is a cool little story. When we'll move on from titties. But we
oh,
good.
Disclaimer: if you cannot pump or the baby doesn't latch or whatever, don't beat yourself up about it. Everyone's different. Everyone's story is different. So I tried and persevered, but that might not be your story. And so if it doesn't happen for you, you're not a failure.
And I've heard a lot of people too. I mean, nowadays, the breast milk and formula, they're pretty damn cool.
So similar.
They're very similar. I think us in our head, we convinced ourselves that it was much healthier, and that's just kind of what worked for us. I believe it's more natural. So obviously there's definitely like an increase, and it's produced from you and the healthier you are, but nowadays, yes, the formula milk is. Yeah.
And what also is really cool before we segue is with breast milk, which is really cool, is when the mom kisses the baby's like forehead or the cheeks or whatever, it like releases. It pretty much. I don't even know what it's called or like pretty much how to explain it. But once you kiss that baby, your body picks up everything that the baby needs, and then that's what is in your breast milk. So like if you could, I don't know, it's so crazy.
Yeah, no, I get
your body realizes, okay, he's getting sick.
Basically,
there's something
the
different.
baby is the virus, right? It kisses the virus and understands what I need to fix it, and then your body produces those hormones or vitamins, etc. To attack whatever it just it latched on.
Yeah.
Wild.
crazy. And it's also it was bonding as well. Me personally, I would have loved to breastfeed.
She wanted to do that. Was a big thing that you had our time.
Yeah, and
there's pros and cons to it.
and I'm gonna try again. Like I want to try for the next one whenever we do have a second one. Stop. Whenever we have a second one, I want to try it again, but it doesn't stop. But it doesn't mean it's gonna happen for me. But that's one thing that I really wanted to experience, and I did try. And it happened a couple times, and it's beautiful and it's a natural thing. But again, I wouldn't take my pumping journey for any, like, you know what I mean? Like everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
And
it was worth it.
Yeah.
Last little story about titties, and then we'll go on to our next topic. So beginning of August, she was kind of determined.
Yeah. So everything was like kind of tanking.
Okay, can I have a story?
But you weren't telling the story. If it was tanking.
Her milk has started to run out, and so it's like. We're at a point where it's like, again, and her doing the pumping thing, like, again, like you think a baby's a hassle. The woman having to pump and breastfeed it just takes a lot out of her. It's like, hey, we're ready to go. Like, I'm sorry, I'm pumping. Like, look, she would pump, like, she'd be in the middle of a damn football game or just look over and she's pumping. So she was a trooper, but it definitely, gets in the way at times. But it's just one of those things. But yes, the supply started to run low. And so we had to have the conversation. She's like, I think it's time that we stop because like I'm just kind of killing myself and we're not really getting enough to do a difference.
Yeah.
But she's not a quitter and she was hard on herself and she wasn't mentally prepared to quit. I said, look, let's do this. For the next month, let's pump and let's go to breast milk Foley. If something happens, right, because mentally we're triggered.
Formula.
Let's
go to formula.
Oh, formula. Fully. We're triggered. We think that, okay, the breast milk's going to save him. So I was like, look, let's put the breast milk away so we'll have a safety supply for anything happens after the fact. Because in that a year, it goes to milk anyway. So we've got a 3-month gap to get to, right?
But it's also good, too, for milk baths as well. Like when they do get sick, even if they're like 3 years old, that milk, you're not drinking it. So, yeah, it's the frozen breast milk is only good for a year. But you can still keep it in the freezer for milk baths, so they're still like absorbing all the nutrients.
Interesting.
So even like if he's 2 or 3, it's all obviously over the.
We're not gonna have any of that.
No, we're not.
But if you could, if you're lucky enough.
Don't waste it.
So we at the beginning of the month, I said, look, let's go for the next 30 days and we'll stop. I again knew the 30-day mark. If I just said, hey, are you ready? She probably would have hesitated. So the first was on Tuesday. On Saturday, I was like, hey, we're gonna go do something. And so she gets in the car. Is like, we're driving there. She's trying to figure out where we're going. I was like, we're getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
And the tattoo is to say for Rebecca and I saying thank you for putting yourself through hell for the last 8 months.
9 months tomorrow, and I'm still going.
9 months tomorrow. Yeah, because we had to learn. We had to segue a little bit. So I said, look, thanks to you for kicking ass, taking names. And you mentioned to me, I think like a month ago, that you wanted to get a tattoo of flamingo, which you're going to show here in just a minute.
Okay.
The flamingo represents basically when a flamingo has a baby, they're pink, right? Flamingos are pink. They turn white because they use all their nutrition. They forget to take care of themselves and
for it to eat.
For it to get to eat. And again, what moms do when they have their kid, so they lose all their pink, right? Like your hair turns to shit. It's raggedy. It's whatever you may be, right? Your boobs are beat to shit. You kind of get battered down a little bit.
Yep.
And eventually the pink comes back. So
once you like find yourself, and not that the baby doesn't need you anymore, but they become a little bit more independent.
Sure.
And you get yourself back. You get to remember who you were before a baby.
Show them the flamingo, baby.
So
we got our flamingo tattoo to, again, put your arm down a little bit. There we go.
So it's a flamingo.
Stand up a little bit. Yeah. Show them at the home. Stand up. There you go. Good shot. Yeah, it's good. So she got the flamingo, and but she literally was like, all right, send it, bro. I'm getting slaughtered. I'm drinking. I was like, hold on. I was like, because I remember my mom was pregnant because she stopped like your boob strap. That's another miserable process. But I was like, I don't think you should just stop. So I was looking at it up that night while she's plastered in bed.
I kind of plastered.
She was shotgun. Don't let her fool you. And so I was like, babe, I hit her. I was like, I think you got to like wean off this shit, like anything. And she was like, no, I'm fine. And then she woke up, and I guess she did some research of her own and realized she got to wean off it. And you're pretty close now. Like it's like literally once a day, which is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to stop tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, because it said to do it for like a week or whatever, and then I might have to just kind of release a little bit. So if it gets like engorged, they say.
So only when necessary then.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even pump though. I would just like take my tit and like what I did.
This bitch, I'm sitting there, mind my own business on the couch, coloring, and she walks over to me. Becca, just listen to it. No, don't say anything. Walks over to me, right? And she has like a little like loose shirt on. Pulls her tit over. What's up, baby? Welcome to the show. Grabs her nipple, squeezes it, just right into my face. Just fucking squirt gun right into my face, full of milk. I was like, it walks away, just cheesing out. I go, what just happened?
Because I was leaking.
Like the abuse that I go through, guys. You have no clue. Like, just what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, I was okay with it, but I was a little like, what?
You were like,
I'm like, is something happening? Like, what am I looking at? Just laser beam right in the face.
Oh my god.
Absolute trooper. All right, what do we got next, baby?
What do we have next?
That's it on boobies. Hope you guys enjoyed the boob talk.
What to do with your baby those first couple weeks?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
So I posted a video today on TikTok of a little man. He's 8 months now, going after sticky notes, and I'm like, going back to the parent anxiety that we talked about last week. I kind of get worried. Like, are we doing enough? Are we not like teaching him enough? Yeah, like is he consuming enough? And I'm obviously way overreacting.
You thought he was blind,
bro. That's a good. Hold up. So
he was dramatic. I knew he was not blind, but you honestly don't know everything, and I'm not claiming to know everything. But I didn't know that at the beginning. Like babies don't see you; they only just see like blurs,
barely.
Like and their eyes aren't fully developed.
So they do an ear test. So I knew leaving the hospital that his ears worked, but I didn't know leaving the hospital if his eyes worked.
There's nothing really to do.
And look, and this is me being vulnerable here. Obviously, like whatever happens, and you're God gives you, whatever you're meant to give. But for me, obviously watching sports is big to me, and I love music. So not being able to hear and see, it
scared you.
It scared the living shit out of me, because those are two things that it sounds dumb, but those are the biggest things that were like, I can't wait to share, whether it was a boy or girl that I cared about a lot. And again, I know people have deaf parents and kids, and like, I'm not trying to, because they do just fine with it. That was me being selfish. So obviously when he comes out, little man's eyes are dark as coal. Mm-hmm. No, they're blue, but they're
like a dark blue.
They're like a dark blue,
and
but the pupils are very dark, and like you could tell that there's no like sign of life. Like, bro, I'm like over here like juking him out and shit, and like trying to make him flinch, and he's not doing it. This thing's broken, babe. But he's like 2 days old, just sitting like just chilling. But yeah, I was super nervous about it, and Yeah, like you said, they just see blobs.
Blobs.
It's like blobs and like lights.
It's literally just blobs, and then at a certain point, then it turns to black and white. You can see it, but they don't see color for a while, and that's why like it's very important at the beginning, the first like month or so, to do the books that we did, and it's just black and white.
Abstract, look at things. Yeah, to kind of engage into that. So those were some things that I would like. I literally would just sit there and like, I'd like hold it in front of him, and, like I had watched, like, you see this shit, bro? And I move it. Like I was super like weird. Did it make an impact? I have no clue. I have no idea. I would like to think that it did, but he seems pretty dialed in now. But the other big thing I think, and this is where I think you'll notice a lot, is tummy time.
Yep, tummy time for sure. Whether it's just a blanket, the bed, whatever. Obviously, always do it with you in the room. Don't leave him by himself, even at that young. But biggest thing is we had a boppy. So it's just pretty much like a moon-shaped thing, whether you're breastfeeding or whatever, but it's really good for tummy time at the beginning because their neck muscles, he doesn't have any neck muscles. So propping him up on the boppy helped him kind of like sit up a little bit. And then we would also take it away so he would just be down and then he could come back up.
Yeah. And then I would do sit-ups with him every morning, right? You kind of just like literally just hold his arms and you just pull him up. And you do little leg crunches, like it's just weird. Like it's like think about like it's PT, right? Physical therapy for a baby is what it is.
Well, what's crazy is we were kind of like on the same wavelength. Is the night before I think it was the time where you were sleeping and I was up, like we discussed earlier. The first week, we didn't sleep at the same time. We didn't sleep together. Like I would be in the bed, you were out in the living room with Beckett. So I think you were sleeping and I was by myself with Beckett, and I looked up like little books or like what should I be doing with my baby?
Yeah.
And I ordered it. And then the next day, like no joke, the next day you said, babe, I feel like there's got to be a book out there that shows us like what we should be doing. I said, already order it.
What the fuck is going on here,
I said, it is on the way.
Because once you get something like day 3 or 4, you're like looking around like, all right, now I think I got to be a parent. Like I got this shit figured out. Like we change his diapers, I feed him at this time, I do this. But now just start your clock. I got to do.
It's almost like you kind of get cocky. You're like, you know, like, okay, yeah.
What else you got?
I'm feeding him. I'm changing his diaper. Like, we're chilling.
What's next?
I finally slept in the same bed as my husband. Like, we slept at the same time. Bring it on.
Where's the challenge?
Yes, exactly.
It's arrived.
Exactly.
It's buddy is a crackhead.
Oh my God, now he's insane.
I have no concerns whether or not he can see, hear, talk, or any of those things. And
no.
So like I'm weird too because I think you gotta encourage creativity. Like it's very easy to go like, no, don't do that, or no, don't do this. But then you shut down that creative mind, like that creative thought process, that energy. So like I kind of like to see how much trouble he can get himself into without getting into severe energy.
Except for today when you're like, babe. And I said, he's fine. He'll learn.
Well, all I saw was a chair falling over. So, like, I just see a chair.
So he's in his walker.
Bro, but hold on. This is fucking funny. Sorry, excuse my language. So, Buddy is a wrecking ball.
Oh.
So, we have a TV stand, and he walks over to we have 2 doors on the TV stand. Buddy bull rushes. Let me finish.
Hulk.
Bull rushes to the thing. Rips it, like he knew what was going in there. It wasn't like he had to figure it out. Fucking rips, throws it. I'm watching this. I'm like, bro, this guy been watching Marvel. Reaches in, grabs the bag of batteries, rips it open, pulls the batteries. I'm like, bro, I'm watching this happen and go, bro, I'm talking like seconds. I'm like, babe. She runs over, right? He knows she's coming. Like, buddy played this shit out. She runs over. He drops the bag. She goes to the bag, but he scoots his little walker to the other fucking door while she's trying to put the other. He just, and he's just in that one. I was like, bro, he's a fucking genius. Like he's like, play with this, distract your ass. I'm coming over here. I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm on the couch. Just cheesing.
Disclaimer: I had something in front of there. I always have something in front of there. I
don't recall that.
And, you know, Sheldon, he's like, I have to put my feet up. So he freaking moves it and forgets to put it back.
Worth it.
No, so it's his fault.
So look, can I say that those things kind of like, we'll wrap up this whole segment here and move on to the third one. But I think, look, you're going to get that excitement to want to teach your kids stuff. That's me. Like, I love that each day I try to roll the ball with them. I try to do more things with them. I can't wait. But like, it just, how can I keep pushing him? How can I keep challenging him? Because he gets bored, just like the rest of us. And you don't want to just put him in front of a TV, right? You want them to learn things. So, look, it's just a battle that I deal with every day. And again, I like to put him in his room, let him crawl around. And again, he doesn't want the stuff that we give him. I will give him 19 things and 19 options, and he goes for the one thing he cannot have.
Oh, yeah. Just like in his room. We have all these toys, this whole little area in his room where he can play. And then there's an area behind this chair, his rocking chair, that's got all the wires.
It's like a 2x2 area.
Yeah.
It's like
his
the smallest part of the room.
Like you shouldn't be back there. He will do something, get you distracted, and then hustles, knees to chest.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, he knows it too. Like, he just like, the hamper is his distraction now. Because the hamper we used to carry, I don't care about the hamper. So he'll bring it down. He's like, you gonna pick it up? Yeah. He waits for me to pick it up, and he tries to juke me. I'm like, what's up, bro?
What he's been doing lately is he'll go really fast, sit there, look at me, and then go really quick. I'm like, bro, I see you.
I love it. I love the energy though. What's the last thing we got maybe for these people before they go?
Capturing all of the moments.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
So what did we do different, or that we thought was different?
So, like I said, I haven't done a good job of capturing, and part of it is because I captured for with the vlogs and stuff that I almost like regret capturing so much that I try just to really be there,
be in the moment.
And look, but I also wish I had some stuff sometimes. So when he was born, we may have talked about this, but I got a disposable camera, which I recommend everybody doing. Yeah. And there's a reason being. Polaroids are cool because it gives the nostalgia look. Your phone's going to be cool. It's instant, too. All those things are instant. What's cool about a disposable camera is we took the disposable. We had like 25 photos.
You can't see if it turned out or not.
No clue, right? We take it. We send it in. I don't go pick it up for like 2 weeks. So we're talking 3 weeks after the kid's born.
Yeah, I think he's maybe a month because we were at a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, it was a while, right? Because by the time you turn it in and then you go, the time had gone by, and then you get to relive all of that again. Like that, bro. I remember opening the pack for the first time and just being taken back by everything. Again, we have photos from that entire day, but not those photos. Yeah. And there was photos of the nurse, I think, that were there, which we don't have many of.
Yeah, we're like, oh no, we never got a picture with the nurse that, like the Ariana Grande lady that pretty much was like, nope, we're doing this. I'm going to help you. Yep. And we regretted it. And then we looked at not the Polaroid, the disposable, and she's sitting in the background.
Beautiful.
Not like posing, but you could just see who she was in the background. I'm like, got it.
I don't know what it is, man. When we talk about that nurse, bro, I get fucking goosebumps every time. It was like, for me, she was the guardian angel of that entire thing. Like, it's like one of those things that like, we probably will never see her again. Yeah. And I wish I could remember her name, but I almost don't want to know, but I kind of want to know.
I feel like, don't they write their names on the board?
We've got to,
I'm sure we have to have it somewhere.
Yeah, I just want to give her a hug and tell her thanks again. Because again, like I'm telling you, once
after that, we didn't see her.
Yeah, her shift ended. But yeah, look, try to capture it. Caitlin does a good job of taking a shit ton of photos. Our grandmas take a buttload. And that's probably why I take back a little bit. Yeah. But I do dumb shit. Like today, I got a little more like, I like just doing funny videos with him. Like I did the Duncan video with him the other day. I was like, those are things that I have to get better at. Like, he's a fun time where I can do dumb shit with him. Yeah. And that's what I have to get back to. Like, I pants him today. It was fucking incredible. I got to get better at that. Just taking candid photos. You guys do plenty of that. But we have a little Polaroid album that we were cranking out Polaroids.
Yeah, we were cranking it. And then I changed the film. And the film that we bought, I guess, was just bad or old or what. Broke the whole camera. So, okay, it broke our camera. Okay, whatever. Then our friend Liz and Ricky, they have one. I said, hey, Liz, can I borrow your camera just these couple weeks while Becca's still small? Yeah, of course, whatever you need. Put film in it, breaks her camera. And then we have Rosie's camera. We asked Rosie, and then we just haven't bought film because I'm like, I don't want to break a third camera.
And the film's freaking expensive, too. Yeah. Look, I think there's I used to hate albums. My mom has a bunch of albums, and I thought it was so stupid. But now I told you to print a whole bunch out. There's just something about...
I printed some. But the thing is, if you are going to do the album thing, do it monthly because I waited 5 months. Oh, yeah. And I spent so much...
Crush it, though.
Freaking money.
There's something about being able to go back and look at the album versus just like scrolling through your phone. That just makes it that much more special. And I know it sounds cheesy as fucking it is, but I don't know, man. Like... with your kid...
especially when it's your kid, too.
Yeah, it's just different. I don't give a shit about any of my stuff or anything that we do, but... I don't know, man. It just has like this nostalgia feel, and you can put yourself back into that moment when you're holding the photo versus looking onto your phone. Because the other issue is when it's on your phone, you know mentally that it's always there. Yeah. So you really don't go back and appreciate it as if you do. Like when it's in an album, you go like, I created an album when she went away, Beckett's first boys weekend, and I have zero desire to look at it until probably a year from that time. but I know it. I see it, and I go, I don't want to look at it right now.
Well, you pass it every day because it's sitting right there.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to look at it because I want it to have some time before I take a look at
it. That's you. Me, I looked at his thing the other day, the Polaroids, and I'm like, you're so small.
Yeah, I might look. I look at the Polaroid, and I want some more time to pass. But that's just me. That's just how I am.
Yeah, again, that's just who you are. But
it's like movies. You like watching movies, like kind of like you can watch them back to back. I need some time to pass to like understand, like, okay, like to appreciate going back through it. Like I want to look at the Polaroid and cry. Like that's how I look at it.
I cry.
Well, you cry if your pee smells a weird way. So like that doesn't count.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely take a lot of photos. There's not a day that goes by that I don't take a photo of him. I actually have this app, and I don't even know what it's called, but it's a photo a day or a video of a day.
Keep your doctor away.
And I've been doing it every day, and I'm excited to. What are you doing?
So you got only fashion left.
Oh no.
Sorry.
But yeah, no. Me personally, I'm always documenting stuff. My family is very holiday oriented, I guess you would say. So I always buy different jammies, different outfits for every holiday. And I take a lot of pictures, but that's just for me. And my biggest thing is if you want to take a bunch of pictures, do it. Just do it. It's not for anybody else. It's not for social media. It's for myself, and so I can have it.
I mean, you post social media, but it's because it's your album, not because you care about
exactly. But again, like if that's not something you do, then don't worry about it. But if you are, then do it. I have probably 20,000 pictures on my phone, and I think 19,000 are Beckett.
Love it. Dude, it's crazy to me how much they change. I mean, you go back and look at those first photos, like, it's wild. I mean, each day, each week, it changes so much. So definitely document it. But look, I think it was a fantastic episode.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think we had a week off, but I think it was, all in all, I think it was a good time.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that we did. Booze started flowing there. We were having a good time hanging out. But again, make sure you guys like, subscribe, let us know in the comments. Maybe something you're fearing or you want to know.
Yep. Any questions? I've had a couple people reach out to me, had ideas. So hopefully we get to talk about those ideas, but we were trying to go in chronological order at the beginning.
Yep.
But a couple of people have actually reached out to me, asked questions, and they said, hey, you should talk about this topic or whatever it may be. So shout out to everybody who likes, subscribes, and gives their comments.
Yeah. And again, your guys' support, the people that have watched it, has been really cool. The feedback has been awesome, and we're glad that we're doing this. So love you guys as always. Until next time, I'm Sheldon.
And I'm Caitlin.
See you guys.
Bye.
Banger, Bo.
Oh, yeah.